Alright everybody, welcome to today's video. So today we're talking about how to audition for a movie, specifically how to audition for Netflix movies. Now, auditioning for a Netflix movie isn't that much different from auditioning for any other movie or television show. The same aspects are still going to apply, but I think these aspects are really important to realize and know what they are, because you have to know how you have to audition. You have to know the steps you have to take and what barriers that you're going to have to go through. So first thing to realize is if you want to be in a Netflix movie, you have to be represented by somebody. If you don't have any representation, it's going to be very hard for you to get noticed and looked at. Sometimes they may have open call auditions. That's where anybody can audition from anywhere in the world. But for the most part, especially when it's coming to Netflix movies, because Netflix movies are a new thing that's kind of starting and building up, because Netflix movies have only been around for the last few years, so they're not really taking many people from open calls. Netflix movies, the majority is coming from people who already have agents. So what happens is an actor has an agent, and then the agent sees listings of breakdowns and sees, oh, okay, Netflix is casting for this movie. You know, I think this client, and maybe this client can audition for it, and then they will send you out. But you have to have an agent in order to do that. So I want to talk about steps first. So just going up to the agent and talking about the agent is kind of skipping a step. The first step that you're going to need to have is the headshot. So the headshot first is what's going to get you into the room. It's what's going to get you noticed by the agent. And when the agent submits you off to the casting director, they're going to be getting your headshot. Sometimes there may be the inclusion of a demo reel as well, but you can't just send off a demo reel and not have a headshot. You're going to have a headshot either way, whether that be just a headshot or the inclusion of a headshot and a demo reel. So having that headshot is going to be really important. But now what I want you all to realize is this. There are too many actors who try and get their headshot, they get their picture, and they're taking it on their phones. They have their smartphones out and they're taking their pictures, or they're taking pictures from really weird angles, or they're trying to be really artsy about it. Your photo shouldn't be an exemplaration of how you can take a photo from an artsy perspective. It has to really be something that represents you. What type of characters do you think you can play? What type of person do you think you are that casting directors might think is interesting, or agents? You have to find what is going to be best for you. So for example, you can't say, okay, I'm going to do this really artsy headshot and have red light on this side of my face and blue light on this side of my face. I know a girl who did this before. She has a photo right now that she's trying to send out to different agents and see if she can get something, but it's too much of an artsy photo. They want to just see you. They want to see the real human being, the person behind the photo. They don't want to see anything artsy or anything distracting, because if you have too many things in the background, or you have even multiple people in the background, or weird lights, it distracts from who you are, and what they want to see is you. So now the second thing you're going to need, that's when it comes down to the agent. So you want to have an agent that you can trust. So here's the thing, too many people go out and get an agent that they don't trust. They just think, oh, okay, this person wants to represent me, and they're ready to go right away. Well, if you wanted to have someone be your friend, well, you're not going to just pick anybody, hopefully. You're probably going to weed people out. There's some people that you want in your life, and some people you don't want in your life. It's the same thing with agents. Sometimes there's certain agents that won't work well for you. Sometimes there are some. I know that there's agents out there who don't really care too much about their clients, they care more about the money. And I know that there's agents who care about the clients, but they haven't been doing it for very long, so they don't have enough backing behind them to get casting directors to notice their clients. So you have to find a happy medium and balance for what you're going for. But the agent has to be someone who can represent you, someone who's willing to work with you and help you along the way, and not be someone who gets upset at you because you don't book a part. You have to have an agent that you can be with and that you can trust. So those are the first two things. The third thing that you're going to need now comes down to the training aspect of it. Now, when it comes to the training, you could also call this talent. There are some people who don't need a lot of training. There are some people who need a ton of training. But to say that you don't need any training at all would be a little bit foolish, I would say, in my personal opinion. Here's what I'm going to say about this. People like Matthew McConaughey, Johnny Depp, Will Smith, those actors are great actors, we all know that, but they never went to a drama school. And I'm not saying you have to go to a drama school, by no means. I talk about a lot of my videos how sometimes drama school may not be the best thing for you. You have to really weigh the pros and cons of it. Sometimes the best thing that you need is just really good training. And at a drama school, you don't always get that. At a drama school, you're there and you're confined to the training that they give you. You can't really leave. As where maybe you go and you try out a class and you're trying to see, or you have private instruction and you're working with an instructor, you can decide, oh, okay, after 2-3 weeks, whatever, this isn't working out. I can leave, I can go and try someone else. When you're going to a drama school, though, you're kind of stuck there for at least a whole semester, if not the whole year. And by that point, some people think, well, I don't want to leave anymore. I might as well stick with it and finish it through. So there's pros and cons to it, for sure. But for the training aspect to it, the reason that I brought up those 3 actors are because even though they never started out with training, along the way they have gotten some sort of training in terms of coaches. If you just go and look on IMDb, you can find these actors who their coaches were, or in interviews they'll talk about, oh, I had this person help me, I had this person help me. I know Matthew McConaughey has mentioned it a few times when he was going around during his Oscar cycle. He was mentioning this lady that he worked with. So they do have coaches that they interact with. Maybe not at first, but they do get training. The reason that I think it's silly when people say, oh, I don't need any training, I don't need to do anything, is because if you think about other aspects of your life, if you wanted to be good at a sport, you want to be good at basketball, you want to be good at soccer, you want to be good at football, baseball, you're going to have to train. You're going to have to go out every single day, practice, and work. If you want to be good at any sort of art, if you want to be a great painter, you're going to have to work. Picasso, he didn't just wake up and was great. He had to work every single day. Beethoven, he had to work every single day. It wasn't just he woke up one morning and was great. Even though he had a lot of talent when he was younger, he still worked a lot throughout all his years in order to get to the place that he got to. So it's silly to say that you have to practice for all these other things. Any art you have to practice for, whether that be music or that be painting or drawing or any sort of sport. It's silly to say that you have to practice for those, but when it comes to acting, you don't have to practice at all. You don't have to do anything. I do come from a perspective of looking at acting as something that we're always doing. So however old you are is how many years you've spent developing yourself to the actor you are today, whether or not you know it. So what I try to do with actors is I try to really find the core self of you and build that. And what Meryl Streep says is great. She says that acting is just showing different versions of yourself. That's all it is. You don't have to make anything complicated, any crazy ideas. Acting is just doing other versions of yourself. So I try to find the core person within someone. And that's what we try to bring out. We try to show those different sides. You don't have to do anything complicated or random in order to get into a character or in order to portray what you're trying to do in the scene. So it still comes down, though, to having that training. Now, that can be training from anywhere that suits your needs. You can get training from my 10-hour acting course. You can get training from someone in LA, from someone in New York. You can get training from someone in your local area. You can choose, and you have to define for yourself what you're actually looking for, and you have to really do your research for it. So it's important to realize that training, you can get anywhere. You can get training from online courses, or you can get training in person, but you have to, again, find what works for you. So these are the 3 main things that you're going to need if you're wanting to audition for Netflix movies, or any movies for that matter. You're going to have these 3 basic things. So I hope you guys liked this video. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel so you can be up to date with everything. Leave a comment down below if you think there's maybe other tips that should be added here, or if you have any questions about anything. And subscribe to the channel and you will be up to date with everything. See you guys next time. Bye guys.